being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com. Get a free rate quote with no hard credit pull, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRIL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Increasing clouds this afternoon. Make sure you have an umbrella handy during the evening commute. You may need it getting out to your car. Our showers and storms start to arrive between 4 and 5 o'clock and exit around 7 to 8 p.m. Overnight, we clear. We'll see a low of 42, and sunshine is back tomorrow with highs in the low 60s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 42 points to 43,390. Market update brought to you by Enbridge Gas, formerly North Carolina Dominion Energy Gas. Dominion Energy North Carolina gas customers are now proudly served by Enbridge Gas. Looking forward to a bright future together. To learn more, visit enbridgegas.com.
McNeil, top of the arc, drives in, cradles the ball, rises up, scoops and scores. Parker half court, off a Styles screen, touches left for pass, kicks it back up top Parker. He steps into a deep one in rhythm and cans it. Styles now pulls up at the left elbow. He throws it in and the foul on Maestrovich. Back down 11, into the lane goes Hill, pumps the brakes, kick left side, Styles flicks the wrist for three. He's hot! 11 second half points.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. I'm going to give this disclaimer a few times throughout the show. We're getting ready to talk NC State. They lost to Syracuse last night in what we call the must-win game. So if you don't win a must-win, consequences. But my disclaimer is starting any minute now on NFL Network coverage of the NFL Combine, and I do have it up on one of the screens here in the studio. So if at any point in time I scream in jubilee or if I hesitate or pause, just know there's probably someone running a 40-yard dash that I'm interested in. Panther fans, I will pass along any information I do acquire as it happens. One of which is Mason Graham, defensive tackle, Michigan. Everybody very excited about him, expecting to be a top 10 or a top 5 pick. Weighed and measured in very small. Very small.
I mean, very small, what, 310?
296, under 300.
Really?
At over 6'3".
He's a beast.
He's a beast, but that's the weird stuff people get caught up in around draft time where it's like, we can't possibly draft him. He's not 300, even though he's like 2 Big Macs and a nugget away from 300. I'm just saying, if he tumbles to 8.
He and I both.
If he tumbles to 8, he and I both. He might not be there yet. There's a certain point, like in your 20s, where it might not even be 2 Big Macs. Might just be one of them things. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As I said, I'll keep you updated on that. But in the meantime, NC State lost to Syracuse last night. It was a must-win. I'm comfortable saying this, their season is over. They still have games to play, but their season is over. Dare I say, it's like about halfway through the second half yesterday, where, yeah, sure, you had more minutes of game to play, but it was over. That's where their season is. And now, hard questions. And there's no hiding. There's no more, we're just going to focus on the next game. There's no more, we're all about the process. Season's over. Can't dodge the hard questions anymore. And sure, there were hard questions about last night's game. Kevin Keatts has some answers. We'll play one for you. Here's Kevin Keatts, head coach of NC State, about the disappearance of NC State's offense.
We could not make a shot, and obviously we got off to a really terrible start because our shots weren't falling. But at the end of the day, the game comes down to toughness. I just thought they were completely tougher than us. When you look at it, you look at Davis, you look at Lampkin. They really just bullied us. The numbers that they have are 15-7 and 14 points and 15 rebounds. We gave up 46 points in the paint.
That's not what you want to hear. I get that phrase, they bullied us. After that game with those stakes, I think that if we had a draft, right? When we got the combine going on, we'll talk draft. If we had a draft, just a little mock draft, we went back and forth, and the thing we were drafting was, what do you absolutely not want to hear your coach say after this game? I would first overall pick say we got bullied. That would be the number one thing I would want to hear the least going into a must-win game to save whatever semblance of a season we have. If NC State wins that game against Syracuse, I think there's a pretty good shot they make the ACC tournament. Is that what they were going for? No. But is it significantly better than not making the ACC tournament? Yes. And it was that game it was coming down to. There's one way. Actually, I'll give you this. There's two ways you can leave that game with your head held high. One, after a win. Two, bloody, all 5 fouls expired, bruised, exhausted, so tired, so exhausted from the fight that you can't lift your arms. Those are the only two ways you leave that arena. Instead, you were bullied by Syracuse. Syracuse and all 6 wins they had in the ACC going into that game. 74-60. It didn't feel that close. You heard about the terrible start, 13-3. Right out the gates, you're down double figures. That game removes all cover. Right? There's no more trees to hide behind. There's no more bunkers to dig out and foxholes to get in. Can't dodge questions anymore. Questions like this. Why isn't your roster more talented? Even if, and I know there's quite a few Kevin Keatts detractors out there, even if you gave the best coach in college basketball to NC State right now, I don't see that roster as a top 6 roster in the ACC. You're coming off a Final Four. Why is your roster not better? Riddle me that. I don't want coach speak. Why were the results, there's part of that, why were the results not as good as the talent on the roster indicates? Right? Because if I just said if you had the best coach, you could be 6th. If an average coach gets you to 9th, 10th, you're 16th, 17th? Why did the sum of the parts not add up to a better total this year? You can't hide from these questions anymore. Your season is over. And then you can get into the solutions, right? That's identifying problems. Then you get to, how do you avoid a season as bad as this one forever? That's not an exaggeration, by the way. There is no reason for NC State to have as bad of a basketball season as they had this year ever again. Ever. It's not like, oh, we'd like to avoid this as much as possible. It's like it should never happen. Ever, ever, ever. And then this question goes to not just the coaching staff, not just the front office, but fan base and school administration. Do you want to? Do you have the ability to raise and invest the resources needed to be a top-level ACC team. We just saw UNC reportedly north of $1 million in salary to a general manager. We know what the NIL world is like for bringing in players out of the portal that can be impact players. Do you have the ability and the desire to raise enough money to invest it in your program to go ahead and win? Because if you don't do that, it's an all-in or all-out thing, right? If you're not willing to spend the cash to get what is necessary to win, then don't keep bringing in people or don't keep selling the dream. Just be out. That's cool, by the way. I mean, it's not fun. Fans would hate it. Your history as a multiple-time national champion, albeit decades ago, would there be people very much scoffing at you? But there are a bunch of teams out there. There are a bunch of schools in the country that say, hey, we had to choose between football and basketball. We picked one. If you want to pick football, fine. If you want to disregard your basketball team, fine. But then you have to check the disdain at the door. What I can tell you right now is this year's season was not good enough. And it wouldn't have been good enough even if you won last night. It wouldn't have been good enough even if you won 4 more games in conference. But the fact that all the way down to the end, you're comfortable in the postgame saying you got bullied. When you had one shred of a possibility, right? When you were full Lloyd Christmas and Dumb and Dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance, and you knew the exact path to that chance involved beating Syracuse, and you got bullied. That's unacceptable. That's going to lead to tough questions, and you're going to answer them, right? It's like you get the lawyer that doesn't let you off. You get the investigative journalist that raises their hand and says, I know what you said was a bunch of words, but I'm going to need an answer. I'm going to press you to it. I'm going to hold you to it. Kevin Keats, the questions are mostly directed towards you. And I don't know if there are good answers.
That's the big problem.
But you better come up with some good answers.
They need to find something there.
I don't know if and who knows, right? I mean, behind the scenes, we'll never know. Maybe there's I don't even want to speculate on something crazy that could happen behind the scenes. I don't know. But you better have some great answers for why this season wasn't what it should have been, wasn't half of what it should have been, wasn't a quarter of what it should have been. It's if it happens one time a season this bad, it's too many times. And I know it's happened if you go back in the last 20, 30 years. You've had bottom basement ACC teams sprinkled in there. It should never happen, especially not when you introduce other not great basketball programs as these new ACC teams.
Their minimum should be what Wake Forest is this year. Like flirting with NCAA tournament, kind of like that pushing for the 4th, 5th seed in the ACC. That should be their minimum.
It should feel like it feels right now when they finish 8th in conference, where it's like, goodness, how bad was that? Not when you're 16th, 17th in conference. That should change things. There you go. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. NC State last night didn't get the win. The Whalers tonight.
Well, let's go.
The Whalers tonight, they need a win. It's not must win, but it would be mighty nice for the Whalers to get a win tonight versus Buffalo. Before we get there, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. College basketball, it's full go right now, and fans are ready to see which teams will prove they are ready to shine in March and who will be seen in San Antonio. You can get in on all the action from tip-off to the final whistle at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Right now, new ESPN Bet Sportsbook customers can bet $10 to get $100 in bonus bets and unlock 30 days of ESPN Plus. Download the app and sign up with the promo code RADIO100 to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Could Whalers night be just what the doctor ordered for the Carolina Hurricanes? Stick around.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Svechnikov, tick-tack, tied in Carolina on the man advantage.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Save made, rebound! Game over! Sebastian Aho gives Carolina a 4-3 win in overtime!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
A new game has landed in North Carolina. Officials are calling this new species of game Cash Pop. So easy to play, it's out of this world. Reports confirm you just pick and match one number to win up to $2,500. With 5 drawings every day, cash landings have been cited across the state. So be on the lookout for Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. The wins are out there. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds chart at nclottery.com for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What? You expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, Creighton Blackwell here from Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Tonight we are at Green Level High School, and we're here to celebrate the newest Scholar Athlete of the Month, Lexi Taylor.
My family is definitely like my biggest support through everything. My sister and my parents both support me through my hardest days and my best days, and they're always there to support me.
Lexi's a phenomenal athlete, comfortable with whatever you ask her to do. She's strong, she's poised, she doesn't get flustered easily.
And she's just like grown up so much as like a captain and a teammate, and she's been a captain now for 2 years, and I really just think she's been like such a great help to our team.
Well, I've been cheering with her since 7th grade and we're seniors now, so I've kind of like watched Lexi like grow up, I feel like, and she's like done the same with me. So I've like seen her like step into a leadership role, and I feel like she's just always super encouraging and keeps a positive attitude.
It means a lot to me to just be able to be recognized in such like a wide area with so many amazing athletes. So I just feel great to like feel like someone's like seeing all the hard work that I've been putting into my sport and my academics. So I'm very grateful for it.
Congratulations, Lexi.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
No. You promised me breakfast.
Breakfast? Breakfast. Look at the score. I'm only in the middle of the second and I'm winning 12-2. Breakfast come and go, Renee. Now Hartford, the Whale. Hey, they only beat Vancouver once, maybe twice in a lifetime.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Whalers night, little brass bonanza. For those of you of the uninitiated, Whalers night is just where the Canes wear all the Whalers gear and the fans embrace it, and you play the old Whalers fight songs, and because what was it, 26, 27 years ago now, the Whalers,
28 now,
the Hartford Whalers 28 moved down here and became the Carolina Hurricanes.
It was 97.
Gosh, time flies when you're almost back to winning cups. All right, maybe that was a cheap zing there.
Come on.
Listen, Whalers night, I think it might be coming at the perfect time. And I'm going to explain why maybe changing your uniform and your gloves could actually do something here. But first, I don't know if I've ever seen a team overthinking things the way that the Hurricanes are right now. Every night, the lines are changed. Every question is answered with like a Shakespearean monologue, right? It's never just, we're going to relax and play hockey. It's always, I have examples here. Ryan Henkel, the Hockey News, quoted Jordan Martinook, Party Marty, the guy that has a beer, right? The guy that is good vibes, he's Martinook. Talking about the new players, the Taylor Hall, Mikko Rantanen, this was Martinook. They've been great in the room. There hasn't been an issue. But I think when you bring in different players, and we've all kind of been guilty of this, it's like, we're bringing in Mikko, a big point getter, and Taylor, MVP. And you're like, okay, they're going to take over. But it shouldn't impact anything in our games. We need to show them what we do. That's made this team successful. And then they can join in on that and then bring their skill set to our foundation. I think as a group, we haven't done a great enough job around them to show them how we play. Which is fine, but how about just relax? Jordan Martinook, that's a full paragraph of like the psyche of the new guys, the old guys, that this changed, that changed. And I already had this as a theme of the night. And then if you haven't seen it, came out this afternoon, Sebastian Aho penned a long article for the Players Tribune, which is a online periodical sports website started by Derek Jeter a bunch of years ago, which supposedly eliminates the middleman, okay? There's no article. You don't have to give a press conference with quotes and depend on some journalist to go tell your story. The players write the articles on the Players Tribune. And Sebastian Aho wrote a long article for the Players Tribune. I am tempted to put like a John Williams movie score behind it. It's like he's writing what is it? Bill Pullman in Independence Day, the speech right before the Dennis Quaid's older little brother, whatever it is, went flying up into the. If you haven't seen Independence Day, you're not going to get this.
Everyone knows the Independence Day speech.
I'm doing a terrible job of explaining it. Like that's what I think. Aho. I'm going to read part of it. I just have to. Aho and the Players Tribune. This is the very first paragraph. I think about the playoff losses a lot. It hurt then, and it hurts now. Each one of them stays with me. It stays with us. We have scar tissue. That's the honest truth. There's no point in lying about it. It's there. And it's a part of who this team is, of who we're going to be, and I'm thinking about it now. Not because I'm taking the regular season for granted, or because we're already thinking ahead. It's actually the opposite of that. This year's team, we don't want to just be talented or a tight group. We want to have a real identity, something that we can rely on.
Easy there, man.
No matter what happens during a month or game or series, something that we know is us.
I think you're getting a little dramatic here.
Us is in italics. He wants it dramatic. Something that is true to Hurricane hockey through and through. And that thing is simple. Hard work. Hard work in italicized because he wants it emphasized. He basically gives like a eulogy for Rod Brindamore in this thing, where he goes and cites Rod Brindamore holding the cup with Cam Ward. I was 8 years old watching it on YouTube. And I remember Rod when he was our power play coach, and we would be on the flight home and he wouldn't be talking because he'd be watching film. I'm going like, you were in the playoffs last year. You're going to be in the playoffs this year. Like, everybody just relax a second. There's no impending Independence Day spaceship up there threatening to end the world. You're playing hockey.
Are you saying Aho wrote this in response to all this criticism? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're implying?
I'm saying I don't know why you write this.
Well, why not? If the guy has the impulse or whatever it is to put that out there, it's on him. He has the right to do it.
I'm not saying he doesn't have the right to.
Okay, so then why are you bashing him for it?
I'm saying it's every game is being put on this incredible pedestal. And I've seen athletes fall down this path. Actually, you know what? You ready for some self-depreciation? I wasn't going to do this, but now I am.
Okay.
I'm going to take you back to my birthday, 2011. The day before the Delaware Blue Hens lost the national championship game. I was a member of the team with absolutely no fingerprint on the game or the playoff run. I was a backup quarterback and backup holder. We lost. We had a 19-point lead at halftime, and we lost the game. This is what I put on Facebook that next day. Not proud of it. And every year, you know how Facebook like kicks up your memories?
Mm-hmm.
Every year when they're like, you have memories on this day. It's my birthday, and I absolutely despise it because I'm like, I'm going to cringe reading this. This is what I wrote the day after we lost the national championship. Seniors, you showed us what it takes to get there. We know it starts tomorrow. We know there is no offseason. We know we have to go 1-0 every day. You showed us what all in means. We will be back, and it will be different. Guess what? We missed the playoffs the next year. We did not get back, and it was not different. I think the opposite is what's needed here. Instead of going high-level theory, instead of going the losses, they stick with us forever. Right? And I read the whole Aho thing. I encourage you to go do it.
It's a great read.
It's an interesting read. Like I find it extremely entertaining. But talking about how these losses stick with you forever, he goes back to early in his career, and he goes back to the 2019 run, and he goes back to every loss and what it felt like against Boston to not get over the hump, and how it took all of this good energy from Game 7 against Washington in double overtime, and from the highest of highs, you hit the lowest of lows. And I'm going, that's not how you get anybody to relax, to say, hey, if we lose this year, you're still going to be hurting from it 7 years from now. Which is why I think you need to get the brain out of the way. Which is why Whalers night might be at the perfect time. The late, great Gene Hackman passed away yesterday. We'll talk about it. You know, obviously there's Hoosiers, there's The Replacements, there's some all-time great sports movies. So we'll have some fun with it, celebrating a great actor, not just in sports movies, but in other movies. But in honor of him, I'm going to reference some sports movies today. Tin Cup. You ever watch Tin Cup?
Oh, yeah.
Roy McAvoy, Kevin Costner.
Mm-hmm.
There is a moment where he has the yips. Right, he's getting ready to play in the U.S. Open, and a golfer has the yips. He has the shanks. He's at the range, and he has all the legends next to him, and he's firing chili dippers down 90-degree angles. What does his caddy tell him to do? Romeo, legendary. I went and found the quote, so I'll give it to you. Romeo said, first of all, Roy calls him over and says, figure it out why I'm shanking. I'm catching it on the hosel, moving my head. I'm laying it off. My swing feels like an unfolding chair. Romeo, put your change in your left pocket. Go on, do it. Now, tie your left shoe in a double knot right now. Do it. Turn your hat backwards. Turn your hat around. Do it, Roy. Take this tee and stick it behind your left ear. Roy responds with, I look like a fool. Romeo says, do it now or I quit. They go on. He takes the first swing right down the middle. You're cured. Why? Brain was getting in the way, and he wasn't thinking about something else. He wasn't thinking about hitting it. He was thinking about the change and the tee and the hat, and he just swung and right down the middle. Canes are letting their brains get in the way. I'm convinced of it. So quick, take off your jersey. Put on this green one. Quick, go get new gloves. Play different music over the loudspeakers. Change a whole bunch of stuff that really doesn't change anything. Just like taking the change out of your pocket and putting it in the other pocket doesn't really change anything. But just think about something different. Get your brain out of the way and go play hockey. Sebastian Aho is really good at hockey. Mikko Rantanen is really good at hockey. Jordan Staal, we could go on and on. They're really good at hockey. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just go play hockey. I don't need a monologue. I want a good look at a power play. That's where I'm at right now with the Canes. And I hope Whalers night, because they're wearing green jerseys, takes them out of their own brain just 1%. Just it's the 6 inches. What is Yogi Berra say, right? 6 inches between your ears, the most important real estate in sports. Mm-hmm. Just 1 centimeter outside of that realm. Just get out of your own brain. That's what I'm looking for tonight. And I'm a little disappointed I didn't get to read more dramatic Sebastian Aho words. Maybe I'll come back to it. Felt like a good acting exercise. Like I should be somewhere with an acting coach. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, who would say, by the way, if I had an acting coach, they would say you should not be an actor. Duly noted. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, you have something you need to tell the people? Here's Dennis Cox.
I do. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Folks, time's actually running out. Time is actually running out. And I'm not talking about a specific team or anything like that. Your opportunity to win a custom Caniacs motorcycle, your opportunity to enter, it's running out. I need you to go to caniacsbike.com because the Law Tigers, Tobacco Road, Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, your Carolina Hurricanes, they've all teamed up once again to give one lucky fan a custom Caniacs motorcycle. Simple to enter. Go to caniacsbike.com. Enter right there. It takes you literally like a minute, and you're done. That's it. That's all you got to do. Go to caniacsbike.com, enter to win the bike. I can't win it. You can. And this bike is one of one. It's a custom build. It's fully custom painted. Not just a bike they slap some stickers on. It's full custom painted in Cane's colors, Cane decals, logos, you name it. They got it all there on the bike. And again, it's a custom built motorcycle as well. This is something that you can win and be one of one cruising around town. And if you win the bike, hit me up. We'll go riding for sure. Again, deadline to enter is April 6th. Bike will be given away on the ice at the last home game of the season. Don't wait, folks. Go to caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we have the Dean's List, which is getting more and more difficult to find college athletes we want to give accolades to, particularly with ones that have connections to our area. And we'll hear from Mike Glennon, former NC State quarterback, longtime NFL quarterback, and somebody that participated in the NFL Combine. So we'll get some stories on what it's like from the inside coming up after this.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I know we don't want to degrade the trade yet, but if Luka and LeBron and the Lakers win a title this season, does it matter whatever happens with the Mavs in the future?
Nope.
It doesn't. I wonder how nervous they are in Dallas, because if he goes on and wins a title this year, it doesn't matter if 5 years from now they win a title. Forever, we will say, what a dumb move.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. T&Cs apply.
At Wells Fargo, we know what got you into your business. Whether it's manufacturing, running a restaurant, or your business from home. What you didn't get into your business for was banking. But luckily, Wells Fargo offers business checking, payments, and lending all in one place, in your neighborhood and on our app, so you can focus on doing what you love. Wells Fargo, you're good at business, we're good at business banking. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/business. Terms apply. Wells Fargo Bank and a member FDIC.
You know what's fun about Ram Truck Month at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington? Nothing if it's not you behind the wheel of a brand new 2025 Ram 1500. With savings as much as $15,000 off a new 2025 Ram 1500, you can have all the fun driving this powerful, rugged truck built for work, play, and everything in between. So get off your keister and get to Heister today. Hurry to Ram Truck Month at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day.